Hey, elementary lit class. So I am reading another chapter from Little Pear today, and these will just keep being saved and you can watch them whenever you're ready for the next one. So now we're on chapter 5, and it says how Urgu lost her kite and almost lost Little Pear. One day during the New Year's festival, Urgu said to Little Pear, "Let us take our new kites out to the field and fly them. It's such a windy day that they will fly very high." Little Pear hopped with joy because he had never had such a beautiful big kite before. He could hardly wait to see it flying up in the sky. "Be careful, children," called their mother from the gateway as they started off toward the field. "Urgu, take care of Little Pear, and Little Pear, don't lose your kite." She watched the children as they left the village and started out across the field and smiled because Chinese mothers like to have their children fly kites. They believe that good spirits fly down to them along the kite strings and that evil spirits fly away from them up into the sky. The children chattered happily as they walked along. When they reached the middle of the field, they stopped. "This will be a good place," said Urgu. "There are no trees anywhere near that can tangle our kites, and feel how the wind blows here. They will go very high." Urgu's kite, the huge yellow butterfly, was nearly as big as she, but Little Pear's kite, the giant goldfish, was so huge that when he carried it, you couldn't see any little boy at all. As they unwound the string, the wind pulled the kites with great jerks as though it wanted to pull them away. Urgu and Little Pear held tight to the sticks and unwound the string carefully, never letting go for 1 second. Soon the yellow butterfly was way up in the sky. "Oh, oh," cried Urgu, "how beautiful it is! Little Pear, you are very slow. Hurry and let your kite go up as high as mine. Then they can talk to each other." Little Pear couldn't reply because it took all his breath to hold on to his kite string. The wind tugged and pulled so hard that it almost made him lose his balance. He sat down on the ground and held on tight and wondered if he'd soon be flying too. And he patiently unwound the rest of his string. Urgu was running about the field, looking over her shoulder at her kite that was sailing swiftly across the sky. "Oh, Little Pear," she cried, "this is such fun. This is just like flying myself." And then she stopped suddenly, and her eyes and mouth all grew very round. For what did she see? There was poor Little Pear, holding tightly to his kite string, and the wind was tugging at his huge kite and carrying it farther and farther up into the sky, and Little Pear along with it. His toes were off the ground, but he still held tight to his kite string. "Oh, Little Pear," cried Urgu. And before she knew it, she had let go of her own beautiful yellow butterfly and rushed to the rescue of her small brother. The wind was carrying him along so quickly that she thought she could never catch up with him. The wind blew the kite and blew Little Pear, but it blew Urgu too. With the wind behind her, she ran very fast. At last she caught hold of Little Pear's jacket. Then she caught hold of Little Pear himself, and then they both sat down on the ground. "I wonder if we shall both be blown away now," thought Urgu. But no, the two of them were too strong for the wind. They stayed right where they were. Then together, Urgu and Little Pear wound the string around the stick again and carefully drew the kite down from the sky. When the huge goldfish lay on the ground at last and Little Pear was winding up the last part of the string, Urgu looked up at the sky where her butterfly was a yellow speck and felt very sad indeed. "But I'm glad it wasn't Little Pear that disappeared," she thought, and he very nearly did. "Were you good children?" asked their mother when they returned home. "Oh yes, we were very good," cried Urgu and Little Pear together. "I didn't lose my kite," said Little Pear. "I took care of Little Pear," said Urgu. And they were so hungry from playing in the wind that they ate a very large supper of cornmeal, bean sprouts, and hot tea. And that's the end of chapter 5.